Hello everyone. It's time to start our first sketchbook, and this, as you probably know, will be a series of drawings that you make in terms of imaginary linear perspective. So we're not looking at things, we're imagining them and constructing them according to the rules, which is a great way to begin because you're not constrained by having to make something look like something else. You're just making it up as you go along and using the rules of linear perspective to do it. So I've prepared a series of images that I think will help you through this process. So let's get started. All right, so we need to understand what we're looking at or imagining. This is our house, front and side. From the top, we see the ridge line of the roof, and we're going to imagine that we are standing in a location to the side of the house. And this is our location, very important. We can look in any direction, right? We can have a line of sight 360 degrees in any direction, but we're going to choose one particular line of sight, and that's going to be to our advantage. This line of sight is oblique. We're looking at the corner. So we say that it's oblique because the angles of the house, the two sides that we can see, are oblique or at an angle to our line of sight. And that's going to make this a two-point perspective drawing. So I'll show you what it's going to look like just roughly. We're going to have the corner of the house, the side, the longer side, and both of these sides are going to point back to the eye level, of course, and they're going to the lines are going to converge at the vanishing point, one on the right and one on the left. So that's what we're going to do in our drawing. And we are going to start with our paper oriented horizontally. That's very important. Draw a line across your paper about a third of the way up, and you can put X's at each end. Now my paper is a little bit, or what you're seeing is a little bit different, right? Now you want to draw a line down a little to the right of the middle. That's going to be the corner of the house. And we want to have a little more room on the left because we see more of the house on the left. And the next thing we want to do is pick the top and bottom of the house. So whatever you pick, make sure that they're the same amount above and below the line, right? That's because our eye level is halfway up. Now connect the lines, or connect the points to the vanishing points as you see here. And we're starting to get an idea about what our house looks like. Since we're making this up, you can decide where those sides go, but one on the right should be smaller than one on the left. So you can darken in at this point just to clarify things. And we want next to figure out where the roof is, but that's kind of hard to do. You ought to stop the video at this point and see if you can figure it out. But here it is. You're going to make an X on that trapezoid and go up through the middle. And our peak is going to be somewhere along that line. And we don't know where, right? So what we have to figure out is that it's going to be the same distance from the bottom to the ceiling as it is from the ceiling to the peak of the roof. So you have that point now and you can connect it to the corners. And draw your line back from that peak to the vanishing point because we know that it goes also back to the vanishing point on the left. But the question now is, where is that other peak? And that's going to be a little bit trickier. So we can't make it parallel. We have to figure out the back wall and go up from there. So we're going to make the floor, and where those two lines intersect, we're going to put a vertical, and that gives us our back wall, those 4 points. Draw an X from the back wall, and where it intersects that ridge line, you can draw the other side of the roof, and you've got it. And then you can darken it in. You'll get a little bit of line fatigue as you go because there are lines going seemingly everywhere, but that's okay. Now, I'd like you to draw a window. I'm putting it in right now. You can just make up the size of it. And we have to find the middle, though, to get the panes correctly. So there are going to be 4 equal panes. And if we were doing it frontally like this, we would find the middle, as you see here, and draw the line up through the middle of that. And then we're going to find the middle on each of the halves. So we're dividing the whole in half and then dividing the halves in half. And when we do that, we come out with a window that has 4 panes that are of equal size. No measuring required here, you just do it geometrically and it works beautifully. So I'm not suggesting that you do this frontally on your paper, because yours is going to be in perspective, but I'm just showing you how this works. And it's a little bit clearer when you darken for emphasis. So there you go. It works the same way in perspective on a trapezoid, which is what you've got going on your house. So we're going to do the same thing on this trapezoid. Find the middle, draw the line up through, and then find the middle on each side of that. But the cool part is that now we have panes of decreasing size, which is what you'll see in real life, and it's exact and it's impressive. So this is what I'd like you to do on your house, and when you have this finished, you'll be done. So go back to the house, and there on the side you have your window, and you're finding the middle there, just like I showed you in this last image. And since these panes are the same size, they look smaller as they get farther and farther away. So with all of these lines going everywhere, it's a good idea to darken for emphasis. Make sure that you draw your construction lines very lightly. It's an important thing, otherwise you won't be able to darken for emphasis. Getting close here, almost done. There we go. Have a good time.